Good morning, students. Today we are going to revise second unit in IPR. Introduction. Intellectual property rights refers to the creation of human mind like invention, literature, art, artistic work and symbols, name, images, design used in commerce. Intellectual property rights protects interest of creator by giving them property right over their creations. So we are giving more rights to them, and the others should not misuse their property. Four separate and distinct types of intangible properties like patent, trademark, copyright, trade secret, which collectively refer to as intellectual property. In recent times, geographical indications also added in intellectual property rights. Well, the reason is some of the places, some of the product is going to be famous, some of the plant going to be famous. So that geographical indicators also become an intellectual property nowadays. Production of plant varieties, so many plants. So two plants is mixing and producing one product, another new plant, so like that, and they are mixing some of the seeds with other seeds and producing some different kinds of plants, and production for semiconductors and integrated circuits and undisclosed informations have been brought under the umbrella of intellectual property. These are all the things we discussed in the first unit, isn't it? So intellectual property, basically what they want to do is they want to protect, okay, because it's a human intellect. Other people, without their permission, they should not misuse it. If they are misusing, the value of the property is going to be losing its value. So, and moreover, the creator also losing his monetary benefit as well as goodwill benefit also. Some of the people using their property like without their permission, that maybe cause different kinds of issues also it will be bringing. According to Venetian law of 1474, made the first systematic attempt to protect. This is what the first systemic attempt which has to be protected. Invention by the form of patent, which granted an exclusive right to an individual for the first time. In the same, what is that? Invention by the form of patent which granted an exclusive right. Okay, the same century, the invention of a movable type and printing press by Johannes Gutenberg around 1450 contributed to the origin of the first copyright system in the world. When it was the first copyright is going to be started. Okay, the importance and the role of intellectual property protection has been crystallized in the trade related intellectual property system. What is that? Trips. So important, what, why it is important? Because it has to be protected, isn't it? The role of intellectual property rights, what it will give, have been crystallized with the trade related activities. Okay, the trips agreement will be helping. It was negotiated at the end of the Uruguay round, the general agreement on tariffs and trade treaty in 1994. That is what GATE. GATE, that is GATE means General Agreement on Tariff and Trades. Okay, it addresses applicability of general GATE principles as well as provision in international agreements in intellectual property. That is going to be explained in part 1. It establishes a standard for viability. What are the availability is there? What is the scope of the property? Use. So these are all the things going to be explained in part 2. What are the force of enforcement will be there? It has to be explained in part 3. Acquisition and maintenance was explained in part 4 of IPR, Intellectual Property Right. And moreover, it addresses related dispute prevention and settlement mechanism. That is in the part 5. So what they are telling, each and every part, once we are registering the intellectual property, actually what the basic standard it is having. So what is the procedure we have to follow for registering intellectual property, and what is the scope of we are registering, and use, what is the use of that property. So this is going to be explained very clearly in part 2. Okay, when it will be enforcement, okay, the date of registration and when it will be amended, that is going to be called explained in part 3. Okay, once our intellectual property which we are having acquisition, somebody is going to borrow our intellectual property, or we have a rights to get a rights in intellectual property. We have to maintain. That is what I told. Patent and all we have to renew. Copyright we have to renew. Trademark we have to renew. So these are all acquisition and maintenance clearly explained in part 4. Okay. Part 5, some of the disputes. Okay. Disputes, preventions and settlement. How much, if somebody used infringement happen, how much amount have to pay, and what type of property is this, everything. Okay. Formal provisions are addressed in part 5th and 6th and 7th. Cover transitional institutional agreements. The TRIPS agreement came into effect January 1st, 1995. The areas of intellectual property, that what it will be covered. Just to see, first copyright and related rights. That is rights of performance, producers of sound recording and broadcasting organization. This is what the first one is going to be covered. Second one, trademarks including service marks, okay, geographical indicators including appellation on origin. So these are all comes under in third. Fourth, what here is going to be explained, industrial design. Industrial design, either it may be a trademark or trade design, all these things comes under in that. Patent include production of new variety of plants, the layout design like topographic, that is and all, of integrated circuits, and the undisclosed information including trade secret and test data. All these things comes under. Clear? Subject matter protected by intellectual property rights. What subject matter protected? Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property in 1883, the Berne Convention for Protection of Literacy and Artistic Work. In the first unit itself, the history of in the intellectual property we have studied, isn't it? Paris Convention is always focused on industrial property, industrial rights. Okay. Berne Convention is going to be talking about literacy, artistic work. Clear? The convention establishing the World Intellectual Property Organization 1967, what it will give? Literacy, artistic work, scientific work, performance of performing the artist, phonograms and broadcast. All this going to be convention. Okay. Invention of all fields of human endeavor, scientific discoveries, industrial design, trademark, service mark, commercial names and designations, all these things comes under. Protection against unfair competition. What is that? All the other rights resulting from intellectual activity in the industrial, scientific, literacy, and artistic field. So these are all the subject matter protected by intellectual property. Okay. Now, industrial property is going to be divided into two that we know very well. Industrial property, copyright. So, what is that industrial property? Which includes inventions like a trademark, patent, industrial design, and a geographical indication of the sources. Next, copyright, which includes literacy, artistic works such as novels, poems, plays, films, musical work, artistic work such as drawing, painting, photographs, sculptures, and architecture. All these things comes under in the copyright. Okay, these rights related to copyright, those of performing artists in the performance, producers of phonogram in their recordings, those of broadcaster in their radio and television programs. So intellectual property is going to be in such manner. So what is the intellectual property system in India? In India, Patent Act 1856, okay, which is reminded in force for over 50 years. Amendment called Indian Patent and Design Act 1911. The major types of intellectual property rights. Okay, what is the process? What is the registration procedure we are having? Register a copyright by completing a simple application form along with appropriate fees. Need to send a copy of your work. It may appear with the same title, but if each work has been created independently, each will have its own copyright protection. That is very important. Copyright, according to copyright registration. Just what are the things covered by copyright? Literacy, films, dramatic, music, artistic, sound recording. These all are copyright subjects. Clear? Subject matter of copyright. So literacy also comes, like writing a books, novels, poems, everything. Films, film making, short film, long main film, like dramas, and music, particular person music. Okay, that and all will come. Artistic work, what are the drawings we are doing? Okay, sound recording, like music. Hmm? Next, copyright in India, it's 1957 governs a system in copyright. Okay, when it is amendmented in the sense 82, 84, 92, 94, 99, it was implemented. It is a right which grant protection the unique expression of ideas. Okay, what unique expressions which we are having, and what are the rights we are having to differentiate from the others. Okay, that is what. How long the duration copyright going to be? Actually, of author's lifetime plus 50 years from the end of the calendar year. Authors die. 50 years for the films and sound recording. 25 years for typographical and arrangements of published editions. Okay. Copyright protection always expires on December 31st at the last calendar year of the protection. That is only copyright duration. Okay. Infringement constitute any reproduction, use, distribution, performance, etc. of the without worker without the permission of the owner. An identical or substantial similar protection also covered. Infringement means actually it is a damages or injections to that any product. How much can I use? Okay, photos and images up to 5 works from one author, up to 10 or 15 works, whichever is less from the collection. For example, I want to do one research regarding one poem. I am selecting Shakespeare poem and I am telling means I can use only 5 percentage. Otherwise, 10 to 15 percentage work I can take. That too, I have to specify from this I have taken. Okay, not more than that. If I am using that become infringement. Okay, database information system is up to 10% or 2500 fields or cell entries, which is very less. That one we have to use. Example of successful civil enforcement action. Three suits filed by Adidas and Solomon AG in Delhi High Court against counterfeiters. Okay. Next, at the initial stage, infringing goods were seized by the local commissioner. The case was decreased recently and damages of 15 lakhs was awarded to Adidas Solomon. Clear. Next, remedies for copyright infringements. We can file against a case. Okay, that's the first. Under Section 63, Copyright Act 1957, we can file. Punishable with the imprisonment. How much? They mean 3 years imprisonment and fine up to what is the value of the product. Okay. Trademark in the sense it covers under the act called Trademark Act 1999. The act came into effect on September 15, 2003. It replaced the Trade and Merchandise Mark Act. It extended to whole India. It shall come into force such as date as the central government may publish by notification in the official gazette. Okay. Trademark, a symbol, logo, word, sound, color, design, or other devices that is used to identify the business or a product in a commerce. That is what trademark. What are the different symbols we are having? TM. It is going to be intent to use application filed for the product. SM. Intent to use application filed for services. Registered trademark. R means registered trademark. TM intent to use. Okay. SM also intent to use. Filed for product, filed for services. Clear? TM, SM and R. Just to remind it. Trademark. Just to see Coca-Cola bottle. Okay. Logo type, symbol type, logo, shape, color. Okay. All these things comes under in the trademarks. Okay. Correct and incorrect use. Correct use in the sense Kelvin, Tombi Teaser, MP's portrays Gwalior. So these are all the correct use of forms. Incorrect in the sense just to see the spelling KA in the CA. And Tommy Hilfiger spelling also. Okay, Tommy and put a hyphen under the E. Okay, MPC divided B by C. Procter Gwalior. So these are all the incorrect use. So correct use of Raymond Textiles in India, leading producer of worsted suiting fabric with over 60% market share. Okay, Raymond Textile in India, leading a producer of worsted suiting fabric with over 60% market share. Okay. Next, incorrect means Raymond Textile is India leading producer of worsted suiting fabric with over 60% market share. Okay. So we have to check and correct it and use it. Font size, proportion and placement. Specify font size, proportion and placement. Just to see correct uses Vimel, ADT, okay, FT, that is AFTOSA. So these are all the words. This is the correct form of uses. Somebody, the people, same name, everything they will use, but it's a fraudulent manner. Trademark applicability. A trademark is a sign used on in connection with the marketing of goods and services. Used on the goods means they may be appear not only on the goods themselves but on the container or wrapper in which goods are when they are sold. Everything. Okay, when it is applicability. Trade secrets. Trade secret, any kind of information that the secret are not generally known by in the relevant industry, giving the owner an advantage over competitors. Okay. Unlike patent and trade secret does not have a past the test of novelty. Nevertheless, the idea should be somewhat new, unfamiliar to many people, including many in the same trade. Okay. Trade secrets are protected by law in the same manner as a trademark and protection. In India, trade secrets are not covered under by any law. Yes, of course, in trade secret will not cover in India. Trade secrets are by definition not disclosed to the world at large. So as long trade secret remains a secret, it is valuable for the company. That is what we already studied. Some of the mark formulas is very very important. Proportion which we are adding, that is going to be a trade secret of the company. Okay. For instance, formula of Coca-Cola, which is considered to be one of the best well protected trade secret. Okay, what mixture they are having. Once information enters the public domain, it is lost forever, isn't it? The formula which they are using for manufacturing the Coca-Cola drink, till it is maintained as a trade secret only. Okay, it will not disclose. A checklist for identification of potential trade secrets owner, manufacturing company. Technical information or research and development, preparatory technology information, preparatory information concerning research and development, formulas, compounds, prototypes, process, laboratory notebooks, all this comes under. Experiments and experimental data, analytical data, calculations, drawing of all informations, R&D reports, especially R&D reports, because it will give more important. It will collect internally as well as externally. Externally, customer what their expectation, everything we are having, we have to. If we are doing a survey, that is our asset. Okay, we should not open the survey in everybody, and it should not be disclosed in front of them. If it is there, they will be stealing that idea and what are the strategy we are having for improving our market. Like that, they will also use to think. Production and the process information, preparatory information concerning production and process. So these are all the major parts which we are having a trade secrets. Thank you.